You had mentioned movies, television, mobile. Is there a thought to making this cross-platform into one metric or one complete study?
Yes, and that actually dovetails. I mentioned earlier, I think that working not just with the ITVX division, which is fully owned by Rentrack, but the cross-corporate work as well. So I think even Bruce mentioned at the conference, yeah, I think did a short interview, maybe with you, I'm not sure, but that, yeah, cross-platform is definitely part of what Rentrack is doing as well as what ITVX is contributing, because again, our model is based. It's more almost on it's based on aesthetics. When you appraise a painting, let's say, the value really doesn't change when you go to the Louvre or if you move the painting to somewhere else. It's still the same painting. So, in our opinion, there are slight differences with screen size and things like that. But when you're looking at branded content cross-platform, there'll be differences in audiences, difference in people that are actually using that mobile phone as opposed to watching TV. But the branded content, the brand in the content is actually not going to be that different in terms of how we would rate it or score it, I should say rate. So in a way, the way we measure the branded content is a unifying kind of measurement that it's going to be easier for us to, in terms of the branded entertainment measurement, to rectify cross-platform than just all the different channels, which I know Sim is working on, and I believe we're working with them as well, to do that. That's a much harder problem. So we'll be contributing our little piece, which might actually be a little easier than the others.
Let's talk a little bit about native advertising, which is probably a sibling to branded. It depends what your definition is, and I love your definition, but how do you measure that, and how does that fill into the cosmos?
Yeah, no, that's a good question. Native advertising, to me, seemed the most, and maybe I'm not as informed as I should be, but seemed to be most related to magazines where you'd have a whole section that appeared to be an article but actually was sponsored by IBM or something like that. Was that also done on digitally too, I guess, that kind of stuff? Okay. We can measure that. We have less call to do that, but is rising almost separately, but in a similar fashion, this area of custom content where clients, again, are literally creating short vignettes, 30-second, 90-second, 2-minute vignettes where they really are controlling the content. And sometimes it's phased into a TV program, like an event like the Oscars or something. So you almost think it's part of the show, but it's really kind of an advertisement, but it's not in the ad pod. So that is definitely something we're focused on, and applying the same techniques to measure the effectiveness of that. I mean, those we look at as, if it's a 90-second, it's literally a 90-second storyline, and we're looking at it as such. So they tend to be very impactful because it's like a commercial. The two are almost blending together. It's a very, very fine line. But in terms of the things where you run into the IBM advertorial in a paper or in a magazine or online, we see less and less. Maybe that's more B2B, I'm not exactly sure, but we see less and less of that for analysis purposes. It might be out there, we're just not getting it from clients at this point.
With all the research you're doing through your ITVX metrics, are you able to match it to ROI?
That's a great question too, and thanks for bringing that up. Because, well, first of all, I worked, as I mentioned, for Market Share, who are the leading market mix modeling firm for the last 2 years, as reported by Forrester. So I have a great foundation in kind of advanced modeling and modeling response measurement. So literally, since we are able to create a branded entertainment rating, if you will, as well as have a branded impact measure, the MQ or the media Q could be considered a proxy for the quality of the integration. Those numbers can go in these market mix models, and in fact, I can't mention the client, but we're doing a pilot project right now doing just that. So the client has ad ratings and GRPs. They have the branded entertainment ratings and GRPs, which are not overlapping; they're separate, things. And they have our branded entertainment quality score for the last 3 years of integrations they've done over the course of those times. They've done mostly TV, some film, a little bit of the internet. It's all going in the model. It'll come out and showing how does the branded entertainment piece impact sales, how does it impact revenue, profitability, et cetera, et cetera. And more importantly to me, because I'm a modeler, how the ads and brands work together, brand and content measurement works together. That to me is going to be very interesting. Is it 1 + 1 = 3, which we hope, or is it going to be some kind of dilution effect? I don't think it will, but just based on preliminary stuff. But we can take it to that next level. Again, because of RentTrack and the time series nature of the set-top box data, we are able to do that. So, good question.